And I've learned something again. I know it, I forget it. Don't just stop, think if it's safe. Do you remember? So Gary going into his garage, and I was thinking, oh, he might be coming out, and I just stopped.
Good old Gary, yeah, Gary was. But we stopped a bit early, didn't we? And that was, yeah. So look, that links very nicely to what we're dealing with today, which is: are we overreacting? Are we underreacting? Should we be ready? Are we ready? If we aren't, why not? If we're waiting, is that okay?
Yeah,
so,
it's a bit difficult, that one.
Is that kind of, I don't know, you tell me, is that what you need, where you feel your needs are at today?
Yes, I think, because I need to see what you would have done in that situation I experienced, because for so many lessons I didn't have exactly that. Normally if I let people drive, if I stop to let them drive, there is no one behind me. Never saw someone speeding and then I have to wait for him and someone else, and then I got stuck when it was my right of way, if it makes sense.
So you're aware of whose priority it was and stuff, but it doesn't always work like that. You've got to take into account distance to travel, can you make it, what's coming, how many cars,
what speed, because the van was definitely going to drive before me. I could see him speeding, and my partner was not happy because he said first the van was totally wrong, that was horrible driving, that was...
So this is the scenario, yeah?
Yeah, because I've stopped to let two cars go, and I've got a proper handbrake, not the electric one, and I didn't find my biting point because of clutch burning issue. I didn't want to find it because I could see a second car coming. Normally... Just a quick one, Lily, sorry. I think we can probably get to the bottom of this now and figure out what you should have done. So you've just stopped, you've just give way, your clutch has just gone down. Have you selected first straight away? My feet were off every pedal.
So you were in neutral?
I was in first, but my feet were not covering any pedals. I was just keeping them clear of pedals. I was just looking. I was going to go on the pedals as soon as I think I might be able to go. So I saw a second car. Where I think I went wrong, I think you would agree with that. I sometimes tend to just look at them and wait for them to pass me, and then I get ready, I think.
So you're looking at the problem rather than what you can do about it?
Yeah,
what you could do about it?
Could have been ready a touch sooner, I think.
Yeah, so do you remember... Okay, that's fair. So do you remember how long, and this is an approximate, of how long we can be sort of waiting at the clutch and bite for?
Was it 5 seconds? 5 to 10?
5 to 8, you know.
5 to 8.
And don't forget, you can be at the bite without gas on, and that's going to create less wear. It's the extra power from the gas that starts to create the burn.
But you need gas first. Oh, because it's not going to be biting point, just a little bit below biting point on the clutch.
Well, if you're below biting point, you'll roll backwards if it's a hill. I don't know if it's a hill or not.
It was a hill.
So if you're below bite, you'd roll backwards. So you'd need to be at the bite or parking brake on, one of the two.
Yeah, I had the brake on, but I think I don't have the mentality. I only get ready to set off once I see the car passing me, and then I check and get ready with my feet, I think. If it makes sense. I think I agree I'm a touch late, but I think the van was speeding so obvious that I knew I can't make it. Even if I was ready on my feet, it's dangerous to jump in front of him, even though it was my right of way.
Was the... Yes, I'm starting to build up a picture. Was the van intimidating the way it was driving fast towards you?
Oh, definitely. I knew he would come to me before I can even jump with my ability at this stage.
So do you think that...
He's done the wrong thing for sure.
Yes, which they do. And again, like we've talked about comments on YouTube and people doing the wrong things. They do things, like the wrong things are going to happen, aren't they? It's how we bounce back. It's how we... Well, we shouldn't need to bounce back because it's how we deal with it in the first place. Is it going to get us? Is it going to grab us? Going to take us? Or are we going to master it? We're going to become the master of our minds. Yes. So... Have you just looked at the van and kept looking at the van rather than thinking about,
oh, look at him, I'm
going to be gone after him, where's the first opportunity? Forget what he's doing there.
No, I saw him speeding, and I knew for a fact, I've made up my mind, I can't go in front of him because he's going to be here in a second. As I was feeling confident in my decision, my partner said, this is wrong, you should have gone because it's your right of way. He got really upset because it's on a bend.
Sorry to interrupt you, would that, because I have to be clear, so I know how to help you today. Again, guys, talking is important. We've addressed that in a video just. If we just get some comments, negative ones, saying, why are you talking? We've got to talk to understand what we're doing, or else we're just driving.
And for you to understand what we're gonna do later, so they can benefit from it as well.
Yeah. But I've got to be definitely clear. By you going, would that have meant that the van driver would have been forced to stop?
Yes.
Okay, so you're right in following your instincts. Two rights don't make a wrong. Van driver's coming too quick. However, it's their priority, yeah? No, it's your priority, but the van driver's going that quick that if you go just because it's your priority, you're going to cause a near miss or a harsh brake or something that's not quite good. Very good.
Yes.
Well, that's it. And just because it's your priority, you can't be like, oh, it's my priority, I'm going. With respect to Chris, I don't mean it like that.
No, I think, in fairness to Chris, it's a bend. I will show you where it is.
I think I know exactly what you mean.
So he shouldn't have done that. But I think I can't blame the van entirely because I think it's both of us. He took the opportunity. I didn't have a right signal because I didn't plan for one. I didn't deal well, I think, with the situation.
Okay. How can I help you today with it?
Is
that the main concern of yours then? Because it's...
Yeah, I think I probably have to now that the car control is clicking in, I probably have to remember and try to be faster coming out of junctions and stuff, and think that when I see a car passing me, I need to get ready just before it's finished passing me, not after.
Think about... I totally agree. Think about what you do on a hill before you roll back.
Yeah, you could hold your biting point.
But not if you're too late, you don't, do you? You roll back first.
Oh, handbrake?
No, just the timing. So you get everything done before the car even has the potential to roll back, because you've learned that.
Down.
It's not. I'm not talking about the skill. I'm talking about the concept, timing. You said I've got to work on my timing. I said, yeah. Think about uphill. You go clutch down, first gear, set gas, fine bite. Why don't you do that when you give way? Even if it's on a flat.
I think I just
even if you're not going to go, sorry, me talking over you now.
No.
Even if you're not going to go for another 5 cars time, there's 5 cars going to come past. Clutch down, first gear, set gas, fine bite. We can always remove the gas again if we feel it's going to be a longer wait, so there's no extra strain on the clutch and that.
I think I didn't remember that I can take my foot off the gas, and that's fine. I'm very aware of clutch burning. I don't want to do that.
No. So the car will still hold with the clutch. As long as you don't start trying to make it move much, it'll cope with it quite well.
And I think now that me and you are talking and I'm trying to think, I think I was wrong with not having a right signal. I wasn't planning to go before the van, so the van was right to speed up and go, I think, to a degree.
It's not always necessary to wait with the right signal when you've held back.
Oh, yeah, I think that's why Chris got angry, because it was clear he was just going to do what he wants to.
Exactly, so let him do it, because all it takes is for 2 people to not be concentrated or reckless. If 2 are doing it, because the other one normally keeps the other one safer. It's when 2 do it is when there's an accident.
Chris said something similar before. Yeah, it takes 2 to have an accident.
Yeah, it does. So that's what I want to try and avoid. So is that really where we're at today? Are you feeling okay for the drive? Where we are today, we released video 1 yesterday, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And
this is hour 8 today, so that's kind of the gap between recording and actually putting it into the video. But there was loads of positive, but there was some negative. Are you feeling okay for today's drive?
I think yes, but the plan was to go on the main road, but I think because I wanted to talk and get things out, I prefer now to just go on these back roads again. Try and, if I have a meeting situation, you could give me an input, because you never know, I might have a similar thing again.
Okay. Well,
maybe
do you want me to, when I'm driving there, like discuss my meeting situations?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay, so at least I'm helping you that way. Because you want to go back to the same area as where you encountered that.
Yeah,
it's
the same. To show you.
It's the same training areas we've used previously. It's quite good for what we need, actually. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
It's just not good when someone wants to help you, like my partner, but they don't have the instructor skills. Because when I've made up my mind, and he said, "You should have been ready to go because it's your right of way." I think he was. The fact that I wasn't even planning on moving, and I got confused because I thought, I'm sure I'm allowed to check, and if I see something's coming, I don't have to go. And if he had said, put your right indicator, get your feet ready, that would have been better. And I drove off with the handbrake on, guys, in 2nd gear.
Bombshell.
1st gear, 2nd gear, and I thought the car's not going very well, but I'm going. I was by this point all panicky because it wasn't delivered well.
Car's a bit slow.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you in on a secret now. You're going to love this one. When I first passed my test, we used to live down this lane. It was quite a long lane, and when you got to the end, it's in Chaddesden if you're from Derby. When you get to the end, there's a garage opposite you. So I went to get some fuel, and I moved off. I'd only just got my foot. It was an S-Reg Fiat Punto. Drove to the shop. When I got there and parked, the handbrake was already on. The handbrake was already on. I'd driven from my house to the garage, stopped at a junction, turned left, done a right turn, stopped, turned in, and parked. I'd have used third gear for sure, maybe even fourth down that lane, 30 mile an hour lane, really. Can you imagine?
I can't believe the car lets you do that when my partner.
Well, these won't. These ones won't.
Oh, that's
these
good.
electronic. That's the only, I suppose, the only good thing about them. But anyway, go on.
No, I just couldn't. He let me calm down because I was all panicking. I was on the main road, ready to tell him off. How dare he make me shake like that? He said, "Put the handbrake down."
Yeah, good start.
Yeah.
So, are we good then for that?
Yes, I think that would be lovely if we can go to the same place and I show you.
And how do you feel about the drive back today? Do you think that's something that might be on the cards, or do you think see how it goes, or have you decided?
I probably would be, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Because I think sometimes too much negativity plays in my subconscious mind. So let's see.
Okay, I'll see you brought some notes, but we can go over these
it's a bit confusing.
if necessary, yeah, or when.
I just see how it goes, feeling down. And I'm no longer feeling down.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really important to be positive and constructive with YouTube comments, because as you can see, it can affect people. So
yeah, don't feel afraid to say something negative, as long as it's not just the negative without any constructive bit in it. Your method of 12 to 5 and hold it for parking on the left really helped me. I only practiced it one day though.
Coming from 12 to 5 to.
Yeah, I loved it. I still need to practice, but it was a lot better.
So if we're pulling on the left in a bit, it's just something that maybe I can help you with a bit more. Pulling in on the left, you feel? Oh no, you said you're doing all right with it.
I would still practice it. I still don't feel confident, but it works.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm still not close enough because I've decided, no, that would do. I might end up on the pavement, but it's really useful what you've said.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got that one on. Let's put the foot one on, because I'm going to do a bit of a demo here, aren't I? So I guess this will be used.
I have to try with if you remember, look
well, they
at
might
my
think
heel.
they might think I'm driving a boat with these shoes on. So
I know, I'm always entertained when they focus on the wrong stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody will comment about my shoes. Nothing about the video. You see what I mean? You've just got to.
It's
whatever.
what's interesting to them.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. So record. That's recording. That's recording. How much battery we got? We're gonna have to change that one in a bit. Okay then, Lily. So, is this correct for you? I am going to talk about my thinking behind approaching a meeting situation, a developing situation should it happen, and what I'm going to do about it, and particularly if I'm waiting. Yeah?
Yes, please.
Anything else, or is there anything else you need to add to that?
No, I think that's it. You've got it covered.
I'm just going to do a turn here, turning the road.
It's not very easy, our road, isn't it, Matt? But I was very proud. I understand it's like uphill, I don't know how you call that one, and then it's going downhill. I was telling Chris what you told me the last lesson. The camber, yeah.
Yeah. Was you guys aware of the camber? Because we included it in the video, I think.
And I said
quite
to
a lot
Chris,
on this road.
Okay, he showed me this and he said, the camber I told you before. So he's poor Chris, so I've told you, didn't take it from me. I think it's the way you understand, the way you explain, you understand, I don't get it, and then you change the language again until I get it.
Keep adapting, really, as much as I can. So there's not, unless there's two cars on both sides, a car on each side parallel with each other, there's not going to be a meeting situation on such a wide road. And that's the first thing to think about. Start thinking about the width of the road. You know, what's the realistic possibility? Realistically, it's a nice car. What got
Which
there?
one? This one?
This one.
What is it?
Corvette Stingray, maybe? Could be wrong.
I watched some of the videos with Chris and he was laughing how you admire cars on the road.
I can't help it. Yeah. I'll be
Yeah,
midway through a conversation, be like, nice car.
I haven't seen that car in that colour before.
yeah.
It was nice though.
Yeah. Yeah, love the cars. Like I said, I want to get a little hot hatch or something.
You will one day, I think, if you want it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. So yeah, there's nothing down here, is there? Really? Meeting. There will be on the next couple of roads that we use though, and I'll go through the back roads where I can.
Yeah, I think that it would be helpful because your input stays in my head after, and we haven't had to deal with exactly that kind of situation.
What I'd say as well is, and you've kind of said it anyway about some of the comments from the first video. You don't need to change anything other than what we are picking up in the lesson. It's really cool that some instructors are giving input.
Oh, I loved it.
It's really cool, and it gives validation to it. I think there was lots of instructors commented, so don't presume on about you if this is the case. But some of them are giving advice that I'm already giving, or not countering, not taking into account the fact that we're on it. So it's a bit sort of like could make Lily feel like we're not doing it. Like,
I think it's maybe not clear to them that the video was taken a while back, and I think with the feet I would try again.
How long?
Yeah.
About 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, so they've commented based on what they see, I think. That's why I appreciated it. Some of the stuff,
okay.
we haven't done the gear change because you pick in your battles. This is something we would do when I feel a bit more confident, which is, I think I'm ready, was ready, not so ready today.
You can't do everything at once.
Yes.
And I think you've got to look at.
And I'm full of issues for that. For the people that don't know, I have so much to fix that we need to pick the most important one first.
We've got to get you moving, haven't we? And
Yes.
build the confidence, and then we can keep moving. So, man with 2 bins and brake lights. We've got parked vehicle. I can't see ahead, so keeping a bit further back is going to be good. It's their priority, of course, because the obstruction's on my side. Car behind's responding. I'm not going to follow on or tag along. I'm going to see if it's clear for myself. Is it clear? Yeah, good time. Last I'll check in the mirrors there. So I dropped it in second to create more time, and I think at the beginning of last video's of potential. Well spotted, nice and early, Lil. Just coming round, a little bit wider than usual, just in case the door swings open. Got junctions here, so just giving me a bit of extra time. And I'm always kind of staying off the gas and giving it that extra couple of seconds, where most people probably try and rush through, really feeling like they really need to make a decision and keep them cars moving behind it. You know what? Forget the cars. I'll keep the cars safe, actually, whether they know it, like it or not, whatever. I'm not tagging on, slightly sticking out. Late judgment from the car in front, just dived out in front of the red car. So not very pre-planned or pre-thought.
And needed, really.
Yeah, he didn't even need to swerve around that much. Well, they probably did actually, because of how late
No, I meant
they left it.
He didn't need to do that to the other car. He could have just teased off a bit.
Yeah. So I'm always doing that. I'm dropping the gear and I'm staying off the gas. I'm doing it for holdbacks. I'm doing it for turns. I did it for the turn last week on the drive to site. Do you remember? Where I turned right and I said, "Oh, I'm going to buy loads of time.
Yes.
I'm not going to go till such and such, and to do that, I'm going to be slower for longer." And I might. Sorry, it's me today.
Yeah, my turn.
I might do that a lot for the meeting situations. Yeah. So we're going to turn right, same as we did last week. Yeah. Which car am I going to go after? So I'll time my speed to suit after the grey with the roof rack.
Yes.
But before the next grey. Oh, the next grey's gaining. I'm not level with the turn. So first gear, let the car roll. Set up. Ready.
I love that one. I was going to go. Not level with the turn. I do that. I did it once, I think, on my last practice with Chris.
Let's turn left. Sorry, Lily. What wasn't you doing?
Wasn't level with the turn, and I did it to beat a car. I did.
Oh, so sometimes people think, "Oh, I've got time," but it means they've got to cut the corner to do so.
Yeah, and I did a little bit.
So on the approach, Lily, your observations want to be like this. Just watch me, look. I'll turn right. Watch me where I'm looking. So I'm looking forward and right. Watch my eyes. And I'm looking at where that turn is, that pointer turn. Yeah. Could have done that in second, but I was trying to.
Yeah, but you talked to me,
space it
so
out.
it's better this way.
Do you see that? So that's how I can monitor what's coming and my timing, but also where am I and when should I turn.
Do you know where the
Yes.
junction is? I talked. Oh, we're going there,
Do.
isn't it?
We're on the
Sorry.
way. We're on the way.
Just
and,
checking.
yeah, it's fine. And when and on the way, obviously we're going to get some other scenarios that can.
I wanted to say earlier when I was going to rudely interrupt you, I was so impressed with the van when you said it's coming downhill when you didn't take the gap. I think it was the last lesson as well. I just hope I will get it. This is why I worry. I don't necessarily know it's downhill when I looked at the van. And I thought you would go. And he said, but he was coming downhill gaining speed. And I was like, oh, was he?
So there's gaps I can tuck into. Right, but I'm looking to the limit point. The
Yeah.
furthest point I can see. I'm also taking reflections, any reflections that might come into these house windows that are actually angled towards where the cars would come from. It's nobody's priority here, so that's sussed in my mind. It's nobody's priority. So who's faster? Who's more positioned? Who's more committed? Is the one that's probably going to go first. Might be able to pinch a view from underneath the car, through the glass, over bonnets,
I've had
through
a
pavement spaces.
problem with the bus, you reminded me as well. I've done something wrong meeting a bus.
Just easing off the gas. No touching of the brakes, mirrors, anything else. Can still
No.
tuck in. Still got some more gaps to tuck. Sorry, you said.
You reminded me I've had a problem with the bus because I
Get
saw...
on a scooter.
Yeah, well spotted. I think I'll tell you when we stop.
Yeah, okay. So here, this is where the buses come. Here's the two bus stops. It's like a really and the road narrows, and look at the paint. It bends right, then it comes round left, and then it comes back round right again. Now look at the speed. I'm expecting it. The limit point shrunk so much, and so did the road width, that my speed has got to match it. Any reflections in the cars or houses?
Not that I can see.
Well, I'm going to slow down till I can see around the corner. Oh, it's a good job I did. I was just anticipating going into
I was
first
going
gear.
to say, love it when it comes to something to plant.
I love it. This is my phrase, isn't it? I love it when a plan comes together.
Oh,
That's what I
when-
always say, isn't it?
When a plan comes together.
But did it come together? Yes,
Yes.
because I was expecting it. And I was expecting it because I couldn't see it, so I had to kind of imagine it. Was it here? Somewhere here? Looking over this S-bend? I think this is near Arnhem Terrace.
I think it might be the next
Oh, this is
turning
Arnhem
on the
Terrace.
right, maybe. Is there a turn on the right?
There is.
We could take this one.
So
after
park cars both sides. Nobody's really got priority here, okay? Now I know they're not parallel, but it doesn't matter. As long as they're reasonably close. Down here, yeah?
We could go down there, but I think it might be up this junction and then. When I see ahead, I'll...
Because the
remember
bus
now.
route's up here, it's not in these bits
Oh,
down
it
here.
wasn't a... I met...
Oh, it was
sorry,
a van.
a
Yes,
van.
I'm with you. Yep.
Trying to work out whether I was coming out of this junction, Matt. Yeah, coming out of this
Right.
junction, meeting them there.
Okay, so shall I spin round and we
Yes,
try and
please.
recreate it?
Yes.
Do you want me to stay in this seat?
Yes, please. Oh, no, definitely. Don't make me do it today. I know I can do it, but I want to see first. You reverse so fast. I never told you this, but when I watched your how did you spend the lockdown video, it gave me not anxiety, it's not the right word, but I thought, woo, slow down. The way you just went.
What
I
it is,
reversed.
I do all the checks and I line it up first, and as long as I'm not dealing with, next to a curb, to be fair, if it's safe, I can let it go
To
a bit.
keep it in a straight line though, because I imagine it based on my ability, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, if I'm next to a curb, I won't do that.
So I'm turning left.
You're turning left, so let's start with that. I'm in first gear. So you're coming up here in your Mini.
Yes.
Beep, beep, beep. And what happened next?
I'm turning left.
Oh, we got a van in the wrong side of the road. I wonder how long it's going to take. So you're coming left. Now what
Yes, turning.
happens? You're at the lines here like me,
Keep
yeah?
going.
Keep going.
Going towards
Let's
the
keep
next
going.
junction.
All right.
Just when you've got view of the bend, before that blue car, somewhere before it, I have to stop.
fence.
Because someone's coming, so I stopped.
So we just clear the fence and then, oh, there's a van coming. So we stop here, yeah?
So it was one car, and then it was cars all along the road, and then I saw another one coming. I wasn't on a biting point, so I waited.
So you're waiting with the handbrake on now.
And the bus is coming.
Have you moved? The bus doesn't turn down here, I don't think. So
handbrake on, first gear, but feet off.
Handbrake on first. So you're like this now here.
Yes, in first gear. I just sit and wait. So I see the other cars finished, but I waited to pass me the second car.
Just signaling for that car because I'm not moving. Yeah, go on.
I waited for the second car to first fully pass me, and then I think I started checking, and I somehow don't know where the van was exactly. I just saw it speeding, and I knew he's gonna pass me in 2 seconds. So I didn't do anything.
You can see right around the corner, really, in the mirror here.
I just saw him speeding somewhere.
So when you give way, did you give way with the van in your mind already, or did you give way then see the van? He wasn't there when you first give way. He was or wasn't?
Wasn't. It was clear behind me.
So when you give way, did you not come?
We could move and talk about it still. It's fine.
I think it's good to be here. Well, did you not come in, roll like this, and sort of prepare?
No, I just stopped when I saw a car.
So if we're gonna go, or at least think about it, and then with the consideration of maybe acting on it, we've got to get ready to.
And I didn't.
It's that simple. And then if you're not going to go, then you know, maybe neutral. I doubt neutral if it's just a holdback. But look, I've been on the clutch for how long now?
It's just be ready quicker. I agree with you. I think after we talked about it, I actually got the answer. I should have. After I saw the second car coming closer, I should have think about my feet, and I didn't. I just wait for it to fully pass me first. Fully pass. When it comes to here, where you're sat. Which is too late, and I still haven't had the feet on the pedals. I saw the van and didn't do anything. So I think I got what you say, and I should have.
Do you think you got worked up by the van a bit, and the fact that Chris wanted you to go?
The van appeared when I've checked for cars. I think what I've done wrong is I waited too long for the car. I could have started preparing sooner and then look at the same time. I just think, for me, I never had someone coming behind me for a long time. If I let someone go...
Especially quick.
Yes.
When we was waiting there just, did you see the speed that the camera will have picked it up? Because if you give way anywhere near a junction, what do people do when they emerge out of a junction or when they come off of a roundabout? Same thing. What do they do? They speed up, and they expect to speed up, and it's... Normally people are operating by rote, which is like repetition. So like they're not thinking until actually something is there, and then it's a case of reacting. So the first thing you can do is speed up. It might not be personal to the fact you was necessarily there and maybe you could have gone. But then they might not want to slow down, or maybe they didn't see you, so...
I think my previous instructor has always said to me, if you're stopped and someone wants to overtake you, they have rights to want to do that because they haven't stopped, so they'll be quicker. So, you know, and I think I didn't give an indication I want to go because I wasn't ready to go, so he probably knew that.
Well, did you see my road position in there? My question to you is, was you encouraging a car to overtake because your road positioning looked submissive, let's say, or just looked like you were parked? Oh, so that's fine. So positioning's correct.
To the left, yeah.
So positioning's good.
Chris got angry because in here it could have been a car coming, so he made me nervous. He caused us to fall out, but he could have also met someone because he was speeding quite significantly. Both of us were wrong, I think.
What have you learnt from what we've just gone over, and does that...
Plan ahead. I think I never told someone will come that quickly because I haven't had it for so long that I normally, I think, would don't always look and then get ready, and because I've done that, I've delayed myself too much, and then I got scared by the van and then couldn't even think of getting ready. Then I didn't know where I was.
So you got in a bit of a pickle really with it, because one thing led to another, and maybe the environment weren't great in the end as well.
It's what you've told me on the last lessons.
What's that?
Don't just think of one hazard when you see one thing, think what else. Because it's normally not one thing. So okay, I've given way to these people at the front. Am I ready to respond to something from the back? And I didn't apply it. Yeah.
Okie dokie, well.
And a bus, Matt. I would explain to you, which I normally know. I think it was unfortunate situation, but also what you've pointed on the last lesson we need to work on. Don't stop straight away. Slow down to give yourself a chance to analyze, because you almost always can slow down and not harshly brake to a stop. Roll the last few seconds.
I agree. Just a quick one to add in there. When a lot of instructors teach, this is not an attack on instructors by the way, but it's just something I want to add in. They teach things out of context, and it's very black and white. Now they'll say that about manoeuvres. If you see something, stop. What do you mean stop?
Yeah,
what
think
about slow down and assess, and then decide if it's safe, if it's worth continuing slowing down to a stop, or what's happening, you know what I mean? So just context. Go on, carry on.
No,
Sorry.
I was going to say, I was
Me
going
today, isn't it, again?
Well, it should be, because I've talked for both of us for a long time. But
Lily, if you didn't
no.
talk, I wouldn't know where your issues are.
I know, Matt, but it is rude, because I do interrupt you unintentionally, and I just love the fact that it doesn't affect you. You do understand that I don't mean it, and it gives me confidence. I do work on it, because it's rude, but
Lily, you pay me for it.
it doesn't matter. It's still very rude. It doesn't cost you have manners.
No, if it was rude, you'd know about it, because I wouldn't play nice.
You say that,
wouldn't.
but I don't think it's your style. I think you would say if you're angry in a classy way, so people can get angry. So it's not how you think they would misunderstand. You're not never nasty. You don't have to be when you have brain to use. But what I was going to say related to what you're saying, they would not encourage you to stop if they've got the skills. But if they don't have faith in your ability and they don't want to have a problem, then stopping it's easier. Just stop. But what I've done, I've saw a bus, and because I'm working on it but don't have that level yet, there was a gap. So imagine there is a car after the red car, and there is not enough gap for me to pull in between the two of them.
So there's a car after the red car?
Sorry, before.
Before the red car.
And a bus is coming towards
And a bus is
us.
coming. You're in the other side, the wrong side of the road now.
Yes.
You're passing the first car.
Yes, and the gap is...
it's a very small gap though.
Half a car would fit
Half a car. So it's interesting, because I was talking a lot about the gaps earlier on the drive here, weren't I? Saying, if I can't come, I could tuck there or there.
I knew the right answer, couldn't apply it, didn't think, because I panic and just stop, like you say, because this is how I deal with it.
So could you got half into that position and sort of the bus still got past slowly? Yeah. What did you do?
I thought, I have a small Mini. If my front goes in, my back is very short, he can go. So I kind of tried to go in and stopped, because I saw the bus and didn't think anymore. And it was wrong, because the bus couldn't have gone anyway. It wasn't enough space on that side. But the bus pulled. He found, like Chris said, the buses are so experienced, they can make the best of any situation. So he stopped somewhere and I had to go, and then he can go. I didn't actually have a gap, so I should have thought about it and not go in, because I've made it harder for myself. I had to steer to the right. And then you beat yourself up and you say, oh, I knew that. Why did I do it?
Well, yeah, and actually, you can do it. You just need to be thinking about it, and you need a bit of guidance there, I think. If you think about our first lesson, I watched it. I actually couldn't stop watching it. I actually really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the second episode, even though I've got all the raw files. When Sammy knocks it together, it's a beautiful thing. I can't wait to see the next one.
Because you've seen it. They would never see the first lesson. They would never see the progress, the
very
progress,
first lesson we did, yeah.
And the second one, I was still, I want to go clutch first. But I know the stuff, because you've told me. I just didn't. It's like you pointed on the last lesson. I need to embrace more, slow down. The car will stop. You don't have to stop it completely. Embrace it a little bit the last few seconds, and then you can think.
I agree. If I didn't say it, what I was meant to say in the last bit was that you have done it with guidance, and you can do it.
Yeah, the guidance, but I need the guidance, and I think Chris, my partner, has the knowledge, but not necessarily
the tact.
Yes, he's not too bad, but there are certain situations. If you were with me,
it's not Chris's fault. He's just not trained to do it.
But he can still help me practice. I felt horrible because we did fall out and I walked out of the car. But I said to him, just imagine you're an instructor. You can't just tell me I've done something wrong when I'm on the hot chair and expect that I'll take it. Oh, and I drove with the... Look how steep it is. And I went with the handbrake on all the way up there. And I was on the gas. Go, car.
So you were quite flustered, both of you, probably by this point, for you not to realise the handbrake, because you can feel it.
He wasn't worried about the handbrake, just the fact that I am letting people bully me and I'm not fast enough to respond.
Well, I think this is a bigger journey than probably the driving, and the thing that we encountered with the comments from the first video is all part of the same journey, and it's funny that I get in the car today and that's kind of happened in like other road users.
Some
other
are
drivers
nice.
have affected you. Yeah.
Some are nice and they make you, if you know you're right, just trust yourself, because it affects everything. It affects the driving as well. That's why I want to be like you. I'm gonna teach them. I never told, I'm teaching them the right speed. I think I'm holding them up because I'm not confident enough. But it is situations where you need to drive. Well, you always need to drive how you're comfortable. Otherwise you might have an accident. A lot higher chance if you drive faster than you feel you can handle, like I do sometimes.
Moving on from that, then, shall we do some driving today and get you in these scenarios, purposely look for these scenarios, so that we can make you feel better?
Yeah, now that I know what to do, I would practice it, and next time I have a meeting situation, even with Chris, I know what to do. I just didn't have the plan in my head, and when I don't have the plan, I then panic.
Has today's lesson changed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I think as we talked, and before we came here, I actually started visualizing it again, and I think I was too slow responding. I should have been ready and look.
All right.
Like you've done.
Okay.
Think about your feet when you see that car coming to that level, not when it's passed behind you and then, oh, there is a van. Well, there would, because I waited.
You're a spectator at that point, aren't you?
Yes, the right word. I think that's why Chris got angry, because I had the time to get ready and go. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't in a hurry. I think someone commented on the video, that's why I didn't get angry. They said I talk when I'm stationary or something, because when we had no cars behind us at the first lessons, we would talk. We weren't in a hurry to go. But they don't know that. Made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes if there's nothing come at the junction, we can.
That's why we learn at this.
As long as it's not a closed
roads.
junction, and people aren't going to,
Oh no.
1 second not be there, and the next second, hey, bang, straight at the back. So.
Yeah, like I stopped at home.
Yeah, that's an example. That is an example of where you should unless you have to. I would avoid giving way right on the eve of the junction.
I laughed a lot because when you're nervous, you just say something, you don't think what you're saying. And I said, and it's Gary, and I know it's Gary. I was trying to beat myself up, and you said, okay, we all understand it's Gary. We shouldn't have stopped here. Do you remember?
Good old Gary. Yeah, of course do. Right, so are you ready to swap round? Do a bit of driving? Or
you want me to start on that steep hill? Okay.
Would you prefer us to start somewhere else?
Yes, please. I think just for today, I know I can do it.
That's fine.
But I haven't cleared my head.
We'll wait for these to go.
See, good observation.
Well, I obviously she was waiting for him to finish his. What do you call them these days? You don't call them fags anymore, do you?
I didn't see what they were. Oh, cigarette.
Cigarettes. So yeah. Okay.
I want to watch your feet as well. I know I can do it. I actually, when I'm not in the car and I think about starting off uphill, I don't like it. When I do it, I find it easy enough.
Say that again, sorry Lily, I was miles away then.
Don't worry, because you need to look at what you're doing. When I'm not in the car driving and I think about starting the car uphill, I think, that's a very difficult thing to do. I'm not confident. When I actually drive and do it, I don't struggle at all.
I know. And a lot of people said in the comments on your first video, you're actually better than you think you are. Matt knows it. I know it. I was telling it, but you need to know it, don't you? You need to believe it.
No, but I know I'm better than that, but I think I'm also, you've seen that I can do lots of stupid things and dangerous, miss pedestrians, go where cars are coming out even though I've seen them.
You don't like that fact, do you?
No. I know I can drive, but I don't have the knowledge of meeting traffic situations as much as I want to.
Okay, let's going from here again then. So this is a nice downhill one for you. I'll just pinch a little bit of this pavement here.
I like this expression. I can't remember what you said that made me laugh. You could pinch some of the bus lane if you want to, and it's a yellow line. You could pinch
it. Take a bit.
I think we'll have time to do it once, and then I think I feel comfortable to drive you home.
Okay.
Drive us home, sorry.
Okay.
Maybe didn't sound right.
And what I'm going to do, Lel, while you just set it up, I'm going to swap this one because this one's going to run out.
That's all right.
So we've swapped over and we're about to get in and amongst some meeting situations, meeting traffic, and what we're trying to do is for you to be able to be ready to be dealing with things appropriately and not overweighting, and you want to know when it's okay to use the clutch and wait with the clutch. And
yeah,
well,
I
think
need
you
some
should,
encouragement if I get it wrong.
It's some encouragement to do the right. So is that what you want from me, to talk you through what you should do?
Yeah, maybe if I have a
not?
meeting situation. Yeah, I think you could. You're normally very good with knowing what I do anyway, and tell me when it's wrong,
Okay.
without even looking. You know which which pedal I'm on. But yes.
Okay, then we'll do that then, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the areas I'll choose will be the ones to try and get these situations to happen, okay?
Yeah.
So when you're ready, turn left at the end. Obviously, Lily, if none of that, works out, I can use the pedals and whatnot, yeah?
See,
just like
I know
usually
how
would.
to do this, Matt, but because... Is that second now, or I didn't do it?
Yeah, second.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, I don't trust it. So if you want to third, you do this,
Yeah,
and then this.
yeah. What are you doing? You've never gone into wrong gear before, have you? Apart from the first couple of lessons we ever
not
had.
with you. Oh, it's actually not as far as I expected it to go.
So you're using the palming technique now.
To-
And is this sparked from a YouTube comment?
Yeah, because I was able to do that before, but because I didn't have good car control with the previous instructor, I want to go to first doing this, and I ended up in third few times where it matters. So I think that's how I started going to the center to feel safe. And the car is not on now. I know because you've told me how to check.
Teaching yourself now, aren't you?
So
All I'm doing is giving you the tools and the guidance, really. And that's why, like, as an instructor, somebody asks me a question, it's very, very, very rarely a yes or no answer from me. It's a, well, how would we know? How would we be able to work it out if we're on our own, So, drive on when you're ready, and turn left at the end. Did you change your blind spot then, love?
No, sorry. I started thinking about my heel.
Okay.
Trying to get the feel. I'm really sorry, Matt. See, it knocked my confidence. I nearly forgot I need to check for cars. I nearly drove straight through it. This is what I say.
So here, expecting a meeting situation round the side of the black car, we've seen the guy on the motorbike. Did you see him? So he
Yes.
could move off.
But we couldn't.
Stuart. And I doubt his name's Stuart, but we'll call him Stuart. So here, parked cars, both sides, nobody's got priority. Expecting a bus, expecting an oncoming car. Be at the speed you could deal with it. Happy? Are you happy with what you're doing so
Yes.
far? Yeah. Ease off here to look through the gap, over the fence here to the left. Any little...
No.
Okay, fine. Not too much steer. Take some off. That's it.
Was that too close, Matt?
There's no... Because you've seen it's clear, there's no need to be clinging curbside.
Oh, okay. Just in case you hit the tyres.
Yeah, because you've seen it's clear. Oh, so just overlooking in your mirror there, you were coming into like a blind spot.
And now he's turning, but I'm alright, isn't it?
Well done, because he gives way to this road. Now, if he's coming anyway, that's when we will have to give way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So yes, he did the correct thing. So yes, it was correct to carry on.
But I hesitated, so I could have misled him.
Yes, correct. Good stuff. Yeah, that's how it works.
See, it knocked my confidence. This is why I got angry. I wanted the people who gave me these lovely comments to know it's appreciated, and then the negative ones brought me down. This is why I'll get better with dealing with it.
What I want to talk to you about as well is positioning on bends, because
Right.
we've brought it up before, and just looking at how we positioned back there, so keep left a bit more so, expecting to maybe use this gap. If you're expecting to use it because you can't see ahead, make sure at correct speed and your feet are ready to actually do that.
You keep telling me this. Yeah, I think I don't realise I'm that much to the right.
So coming left after this span, because it's going to increase our view around the right bend. The further left we're positioned on a right bend, the earlier we'll sit around the corner. Would you agree?
Yes.
car comes, we can tuck behind the red one. We'll go for a rolling holdback, try not to stop. The aim of the game is, I think, not to stop, because you save fuel, you save wear and tear on your brakes.
This is where
Easier
I
to get
couldn't work
going.
out. It's uphill, Matt. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Okay.
Where I stole the car with Chris, where you said, "Did you have the handbrake on? Did you move or did you not?" If you remember.
Okay, so it's only a small gradient, but it's enough to roll back on, isn't it?
It was. It took me by surprise. I'm trying to see if it's going to slow down.
That's good. So it's the right level of anticipation and commitment, because I can feel you've sped up once you've made your decision. Leads you to your next gear. Well done.
Because it's your words, Matt. I remember them. Do you remember?
Well, I can keep giving you the words until they belong to you. Does that make sense? And they're your own. Turn right, please, at the end. I can do that for as long as we
I
need.
remember. He said you could be in third gear here. Do you know?
So planning for a meeting situation. Parked cars everywhere.
So you don't want to speed up too much.
Take a second, and then before you give it any in second, check your mirrors, come out, let's have a quick look. Centre then right, Lily, yeah?
Yes.
Ease off here, ease off, because we can tuck behind the blue. Last checked, anything? Just
No.
look forward, and last checks
No.
look forward, I mean. Just last sort of things before you commit and say, yeah, I'm going.
But your feedback, do I need to slow down?
Yeah, slow down, he's faster than us.
This is downhill.
Yeah, first gear while we're rolling. Don't brake to a stop. No need to check the blind spot, Lil, just your mirrors. And just be mindful, you know, I'd have been looking at that one, because that one's got an L plate on, it's got its lights on, it's at the shop, so it's going to move off soon, yeah? So that's,
I didn't even see him.
didn't you? So, okay, but it's not a massive problem, nothing happened, but yeah.
I looked at him up there and I was going, check me out, Matt, I'm checking what you're telling me to.
Okay,
But it wasn't right.
alright.
I've been sarcastic, and I've proven why you need to teach me still, because I see one hazard and I forget what's next.
2 cars with lights on, so
Just gently.
just gently
slowly.
drifting towards the middle. Bit more so now, just so that we're getting the van's mirror. Yeah, he's clearly holding back for us, or else he would have just come straight through. No, whoa, no need to go too fast, Lily.
Sorry.
Take next right. It just felt like a bit like we was doing that all for the van driver, and we was gonna actually
Did we forget?
we shoot ourselves in the foot there, because we've got a junction to deal with, or
Sorry, Matt, this is typical me. This is why I let people tell me how to do things when I don't want to.
turn right, please,
Oh,
at the
right.
end.
Will you see me?
Yeah, think about what you're doing now. That's it. So looking there, well, oh, it's third gear, that's all.
See, doing it this way, this is what I do.
Anything behind?
No.
You check your centre, didn't you? I thought
Yes.
I saw you check it, so you could have maybe known
I'm
already.
sorry, Matt. See, don't know why this doesn't work for me. I need to practice more, because your video was very clear.
Which one? What practice what?
How to change gears with the palm method.
Is that the
You're right.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
You're just trying to deal with multiple
With
things
two
at once.
things.
Yeah,
do
it's
you want
okay.
me to pull somewhere on the left and then we
Please.
talk? It's after the bend. I can't do it here.
That's
is it?
fine.
Missed my opportunity.
As soon as you think you might park, ease off the gas immediately. Some people are trying to decide sometimes, and they're still accelerating while they're doing
I
it.
still don't know whether I could park in here. I think I can. Down. Oh, I don't like this light.
Steer right. That's good. That's really nice.
12 to 5 really helps. Oh, I feel so bad for the gear. I haven't done this ages.
What
I'm
gear?
really sorry for the third, when you said it's third gear.
Right. Any harm done?
No, other than I want to be able. I used to be able to
Other
do
than you,
that.
yeah. Other than you not getting it right. Now,
Well, it could have been harm if someone was behind me and I just started
yeah.
and stopped.
Yes, they could.
Or
They
someone
could.
speeding.
Because, yeah, they're going to expect you to go. We call that a false start.
It's horrible.
So it looks like you're going, you do go, and what does the person behind start doing then? And if they see it's clear, maybe
look
they'll
who's-
move, start edging, and they're still doing that. Oops, thought you'd gone. Smash.
It's horrible feeling. This is why I think I prefer to go from the middle to here. But when you do it on the video, it's so easy. I would watch it when when the video comes out, see what I've done. I probably didn't do the go to the left.
What gear did you come from? 2?
Yes.
Up that short road, yeah? So,
I didn't go to the left, Mats. I probably didn't do that.
So pop the clutch down now, if you wouldn't mind. Go into gear 2. Hands on the steering wheel. And just show me now what you would do next time.
I think I didn't. Don't know why I got it wrong.
That's absolutely perfect. So to describe it, if you were to describe it to me, so you can have it in running through, you would push left first, and with the left pressure against this wall, which you can feel, you then push forward with the left pressure still on.
I think I'm not putting the pressure enough.
Push left first, then palm forwards with the left palm.
Let me try it. This is why I prefer that way for first. I think I need to work on it a little bit. When you do it, I feel what you're doing. Oh, I'm doing it. It does the same sound.
When you go 1 to 2 then, what are you doing? You go neutral first? Are you not doing that when you go 1 to 2?
Before I watch the feedback from the guy on the video, I would do this. This is second. I go here and then to the left.
Well, I must admit, apologies, I must admit, the way you do it must have been quite efficient. You must just go, done. Like, it's not delaying the drive. It's not affecting the drive, or else I would have brought it up before now.
Only thing from the gear, sorry Matt, I didn't mean to interrupt you, that you've pointed really well I've done wrong in the past. Let it spring, use the spring when you go to third. I used, oh sorry, my clutch is not down and I felt felt the pressure. Let it spring and then do this. I tend to try and force it and hold it really tight and get it wrong as well. And I said to me and Chris drove it's a country road, a very brief one, where I needed to go into fifth and I went into third for that reason, I think, like you said, because I hold it, don't let it spring, and then I tried to do this and I didn't go into fifth.
Well, it sounds to me
So
like you've learned a lot
just-
about what you don't want to do and what you do want to do. At the beginning of next lesson, it's absolutely fine for us to sit down and say, right, let's do a few practice scenarios with the gear. And I don't think it's worth doing a practice scenario with the gears stick if you're keeping your hand on the gear stick, because you know what happens when you drive? You take your hand off and then you place it back on. A lot of it is how should it feel, the muscle memory.
Yeah.
That's part of it. So it's no good just going for the gear stick, keep your hand on it like this, hand on, pretend we're driving. You remember just pretending we're going for the gear. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, hand back on, 3 to 4, hand back on, 5 to 1, hand back on, 6 to 2. And go through all those, and that will really start to get you to, well, you understand it clearly. But the practice makes you feel at ease, doesn't it?
It's just, it doesn't work for me sometimes. Don't know why. I think I forget to do the left bit. When I try to do it, because I'm looking for cars and it's not my preferred method of doing it, I probably forgot to push it to the left first. And that's why when in third, I just went that way. Sorry, that, but not enough pressure. We need to go because you will be very late.
That's okay. Do you want if you want to write that down for next lesson, that you want, you know, maybe I can remind you to make sure that doesn't happen. I can be that voice until it becomes yours, to remember to palm left, or if you want to practice with the gear stick before we start.
That would be good, because it looks more professional when you do it this way. And once you get the hang of it, I think it's probably safer, because it's pointless to go to here and then there if you could just go in one line. I will try.
You want to be efficient, don't you? You don't want to be wasting your time and effort, really, with anything. So, how do you feel about a drive home, and we continue helping you with meetings?
I think it definitely played on my head, because when you first took me in, I had to think about junctions. I nearly didn't stop. I knew it's gonna affect me, reading comments and I'll take them in. So I'm not entirely sure. If you think I could handle it, I think I can, with your help.
I'm very confident about you and your driving.
Let's do
but
that.
I don't.
Let's do it, because if I don't do it, I think I'll talk myself.
I know.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I think I'll pick it up again. With your help, we'll drive home okay, and I'll practice with Chris more, and I'll pick myself up. Because they're not gonna win with their nasty comments.
Exactly. We can't let evil overcome good.
I'm gonna go and read all the good ones now.
This is it. So if you've got a good comment, or even a constructive comment, absolutely great, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you have the
But
power to help someone, empower them, why don't use it? Why use it to do what they've done to me today? Bring me down and below where I was. Just because they want to comment offensive stuff for no good reason, no constructive reason. It's fine. We don't like this kind of talk. We are positive here.
We are from now on,
ready to go?
because this has been a learning experience for us and for you in your journey, not only in the driving, but I think it'll set you on good stead just for dealing with any difficulties that comes up, because I'm guessing the anxiety side or whoever sneaks into normal life as well here and there. So I hope it just gives you that thicker skin and that bit more strength. Yeah.
It will help as well with not letting people tell me how to drive. I'm tiny bit disappointed in myself. Sorry, I'm holding on the clutch even though I'm not pressing it. I haven't burned it before I get accused.
You can't, it's in neutral.
Yeah, but I was just, by habit, I'm ready to go because I don't want you to be late. You
Go
keep
inside.
having to tell me the same thing about left and right, and Chris did the same, and I said, you and Matt pick on the same things, which is very refreshing for me. It's now matching. But I don't understand why, looking at the road, I think I am closer to the left than I actually am, because you always encourage me. You say, you're more to the right, you need to be more to the left to look at where you're going. So I'm going to work on that, because I don't like it when you have to say it that many times in a row now. Third
Right.
lesson maybe.
Yeah, we also want to be mindful about your road position next time. So your road position, let's address your gears, let's address, or we do it on the way home as well.
Yeah.
And obviously meeting traffic, yeah.
And where he said, I don't think I take the thinking stops at some point, which is very annoying for me when you said you're very close to the left, you could go more to the right on this tight bend because you've seen it's clear. I don't analyze it. I think I'm not in a good form today. I look it's clear and I don't plan my next move. I just go as close to the left as possible because I drive on the left side, if it makes sense to you. You shouldn't have had to remind me because you've told me that many times before. I do know it.
Well, does that mean that if you does that mean just because you've been told something once that you must remember it?
Yeah, I think I'm happy when people pass quicker, but you should be mindful. YouTube, this kind of videos are to help people, and everyone's different, so no one needs to know, because it's kind of trying to make other people feel bad.
These videos aren't necessarily for people who passed the test, didn't really too bothered. I say this with respect as well. Weren't too bothered about the learning of like when I passed my test, these videos wouldn't have been for me, because when I was 17, 18, I wouldn't have understood. I wouldn't have been able to comprehend this. So of course, naturally, I would have just said something stupid, because I wouldn't have been on the level of mentality to be able to understand. And that's why I say I don't think these videos are for those type of people, though they will watch them because they are
I think everyone can learn
interested.
something.
If they want to, you've got to have the right attitude, haven't you, to learn, to want to learn and to take it in.
I think it's nice, but that would be ideal world if everyone just thinks, when I say this, am I benefiting someone? Does anyone need to know? Because it's great. I have so much respect for fast learners. Some people are just more talented with cars, it's more natural to them. But other people who don't have the money to spend on lessons might feel down and think, I should give up. I would have given up if I didn't have Chris. And there is nothing more I want than to drive.
Okay.
We ready?
We're ready.
Because you are already late, but now this is downhill, isn't it? So how am I going to keep the car controlled?
Well, if there was a car in front of you, there's a way of releasing the handbrake where we don't find a bite point first, because it's an electronic silly one. When we do what's called a downhill rolling start. So if you want to be slower when you move off downhill, well identified, we can do that. Do you want to look at doing a downhill rolling start? It's not that necessary here, but it is something that, if you're asking me, it's the correct answer.
Very, very slowly?
It's clutch on the floor, squeeze your foot brake for me.
Foot brake?
Yeah. Squeeze it, so that if your handbrake weren't on, the tyres wouldn't be rolling, okay? Now because your foot's on the foot brake, if you press down on the parking brake button rather than up, like we normally do you hear it disable? Yes. So if you ease, and that's the point, you can ease off of, as required, your foot brake, go straight to your gas, set your gas, find your bite, and off you go. You see you roll slower here, and you go when you're ready?
Yes.
And you check your blinds by that time, yeah?
Yes, I'm
cool.
Sorry, Matt.
Oh, I should have probably discussed why we should check it, but...
I know, you don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
It's a shame you had to remind me after the good progress I've made. Doors open, so we're checking who's behind.
That's it.
Was it left in
Turn in right, please.
Right.
brake, clutching.
Was it a tiny bit late, you think?
Just a little. We just want to be a bit slower as we're coming up towards the lines, that's all.
And we said we're turning right.
That's it. So you're expecting a meeting situation then?
And mind this
Yeah.
person.
So we'll do a bit of gas second, but then no gas. So no gas, bit of a pause with the drive, check your mirrors, but don't position yet. Stay in a holdback
sorry.
position, just because if something flies round, now we can go round. Now in the next holdback position, off the gas, waiting to commit. Off the gas, Lily, you were still on it.
I'm off.
Thank you.
It's downhill a bit, Matt.
Ah.
I
You got
definitely
me.
didn't cheat it.
You got me on that one.
No, you know I'm a bit delayed, so you're right, but I wasn't this time.
Yes, okay. But did that start to drop there as to what we're doing? We're not driving because we want it, we're driving for that particular part of the road, and that's it. Turn at the end of this road, turn left, please. Talking gobbledygook there. So straight off, obviously judging traffic, but looking for meeting situations. There's cars parked on this side, aren't there?
Yes, it's. I don't like this junction very much, to be honest.
So a big boost in second, because they're not going to cross. There's nothing coming, look, would you agree?
Apart from, oh yeah, at the top, no. So where do you want me positioned now?
Straight here.
I'm checking.
Now the view's coming in, you're already naturally coming into the passing, driving line to pass the cars down the middle. Only
I'll hold here, I think.
keep going.
No, I don't need it. It's enough space.
That's it. Come closer to the silver, then closer to the gold. So what you need to do with your steering wheel a bit more, Lily, is this sometimes. Just get that middle ground, rather than being a bit too close to the gold or a bit too far away from the silver. Does that make sense?
Gently, yes.
Just little bits, try and get your eye. Look across your dashboard right at the end, please. You need to look across your dash a bit more from side to side. Remember, you sat over this side.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is something I've never been the best at doing, so.
Okay.
See, I don't want to.
Well, that's going to put... No, you shouldn't. You're right. And there's no pressure or rush to go. Because they're in your side of the road, aren't they? Is this one going to turn?
I've eased off. I've taken my foot off the gas now.
Mhm.
Hopefully I still have the biting point.
Well done.
This is why I was slow, Matt. I wanted to experience that.
Great.
That was great. What you just told me earlier.
Good. Turning left at the end. Clutch all the way up, Lily. All the way up. It'll help you slow. And then clutch down after you've braked, yeah?
How do you know?
I can feel it. I can feel you've not engaged it yet. Because we keep speeding up, that's why.
Oh, I forgot what I'm doing.
That's it, right?
For a second, sorry, Matt. Faster. I know why you're looking here. It's a very bad road.
Just
come
double
out
checking,
of.
obviously. Got
Yes.
to know the overall safety of us. So.
Hopefully that's four. Please be four. Yeah.
That was a nice one. You're nice and loose with that gear stick. I've never noticed enough justification to be mentioning to you. Okay, just there was, and it was right that we went over it, but what's that to do with what you've been reading from the comments?
Yes. I think.
What I would say is don't invest in them, Lily. Remember, I've got you. Yeah. Take on board the positive and the constructive. If you know there's not a problem, and I've not, don't, you know, take too much of it on.
And now your voice is coming to my head, but I think I'm having it wrong. Not to go too close to this bus to give me a chance if he stops to react.
Well done.
At the bus stop.
Well done. The lights have been on green for a while.
And because someone could be overtaking this
Well done.
guy,
Well done.
I'm off the gas because of the bicycle, made me nervous.
Okay.
That's fine. Oh,
Was that okay to go through that, Amber?
I think so, because by the time I saw it, I was already crossing it.
It was, yes.
But I should have.
So here, are we going to tag along? Can you see for yourself?
I think we can now.
Okay, that's fine if we're going to hold back though, isn't it? We break the mould, we don't have to follow those guys.
I got nervous for a second. I might have needed second gear because he went to 50.
I would have had second just to anticipate and hold back while I was judging whether to follow these or not. If that makes sense, it would have given me a bit more control. Third felt a bit kind of...
Yeah, the car could have stalled on me.
It wouldn't stall, Lily, you know.
You wouldn't?
No, only if you try and brake and make it go slower than the minimum speed third gear would do, which is about 12 mile an hour. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you could use third and tick over, but tick over's too fast, that's all, in third. Yeah, so turning right, yeah.
Sorry, man.
That's okay.
I know I'm going
You're
home.
filling in the gaps. Lily, try not to come off the brakes until you're about...
slow down enough.
Yeah, until you're about off the clutch, which is usually when you're about off the clutch, okay?
I think I do this all the time here. I struggle, I don't like this junction. Not surprised you're saying that. This is why I think we're a good team, because you feel everything. You know. You just know what I do and why I do it.
Well, I'm glad you're happy with the service, to be honest.
More than happy. I think I love Joshua's comments as well.
Josh is a good man, Josh.
I was worried a little
He's another one of my pupils, Josh.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, he's not mine, he doesn't belong to me, but... Is it?
Belongs for now.
Well, he learns with me. Yeah. Focus on the positive.
I was a bit worried people might think we're like in love with you. We kept going on one.
All right. Oh, Josh and...
Joshua something.
Okay, yeah.
He kept saying he feels, he connects, and I thought, whoop, a little bit out of subject. Got carried away, having so many nice things to say.
I think when you help people, they really appreciate it. And sometimes you can go out your way to help people and listen to people, and just the fact that you'll listen to people. Sometimes people have grown up, and you know, let's take for example their nearest and dearest, their parents and things like that. Even these people, you've got loads of room here, as you can see.
How
no
did
problem.
You know?
But yeah, so just absolutely fine through there, Lil. No problem at all.
See, I think it's the fact that you can feel without people tell you things. You know how people feel. Normally you could work out why without asking them if it's a tricky one.
Should be the same with the black one, you reckon? If we're positioned reasonably early. But we got the big truck today.
Yeah,
nice gear change. Nice gear change.
So I want second sooner maybe?
No, so don't be too hasty.
But do you
position left of centre line, come towards the lorry. Oh, you've got room. You didn't need to drop the gear.
Oh, I was surprised at this time. Got it wrong.
You didn't need to, because you withheld the speed of third gear. To drop meant going slower than actually when you were judging. You were going to go slower to drive through the gap than you were to work it out.
Are you going to look, Guy?
Select first gear if you're unsure.
Sorry, Matt. I don't like it. That was horrible.
Don't steer too much. Straighten, straighten. Take steer off.
Oops, off.
Then steer.
Sorry.
No worries. And then we'll pull in on the left, Lily. So you start
Sorry, Matt.
no worries. Focus on the positive and what you can do. Clutch down. Don't you look at him too much. You look at what you're doing. Right? Set your gas. Right? He's not going to affect our driving, yeah?
It was horrible.
Steer right more. That's great. That's really good. Keep it rolling, because you...
Gas again then.
Back to the right again.
I just want to see. Can't see really the pavement from here.
You won't. Look forward.
More to the right.
Keep doing what you're doing, because it's absolutely perfect at the moment. I feel like I need to say nothing. Look at that.
Fine?
It's more than fine. It's
really
spot on.
Oh, Matt.
And that guy nearly spoilt it for us.
It did, because I didn't plan to stop. I thought I
could
go.
So worrying about him, did he check before he didn't even cross the road?
But they don't look. I've seen them. Oh, my ears are
What about
burning
your
now.
horn? What about you? Right, you made it more dangerous by stabbing the brake to select first gear. Could we have not thought, oh, and I didn't kind of have time to say it was talking about something else. I didn't even have time to finish. I was talking about the lorry and the fact you were slower to go through the lorry.
So much to tell me.
Well, you'll see when you watch back. It was faster through the lorry than we were to decide. No, the opposite. Slower to go through once we'd worked it out. We should have been the opposite way around if you were in doubt.
Slower to decide.
But because we had enough distance and space to visualise, you know, if you see that picture again, you'll see it in the video when you watch it back. You've got a curb and curb, yeah, and there's the width of the road space. You've got a parked car, so that's narrowing some of the space. And then you've got a lorry, and that's a bit wider than a car. Well, you need to look at the space where you want to drive and visualise the width of a car in that space. Now, it's easy to visualise a car, you know why? Because there's already a parked car that we're passing, so why don't you visualise two of them side by side?
And I would have known I had...
And then we've got enough space, because most cars, look, every car on this road, right, they're all about the same. You know, there's that little in it, to be honest, unless it's like something silly, like something you wouldn't even class as a car. You know what I mean?
I got you.
You'll fit through.
I think I've always struggled with deciding for gaps, and I know what you're trying to say. If I didn't slow down that soon, I just positioned to decide, I might have not even met the lorry at that point where it was tighter.
We overthought it.
Yes.
We did a little bit with the grey one. Like, actually, you were lined up, you know, the other grey one. You said, how did you know? Well, on that one, we kind of positioned early enough, and then as we got closer, we kind of then rethought it and overthought it. We sort of went a little bit, only a little bit, closer, rather than following that nice driving line and just saying, yeah, it's done. I'm done. I can do this. I'm doing it. I'm done.
Yes, this is why I think for me, I feel nervous on main roads, because I drove when I wasn't ready. It's not an excuse, it's not a victim mentality, it's just something I struggled, never learned. They assumed I would learn when I drive a lot and I have these meeting situations, and I think something clicks in my head and I panic a little bit, and I need your voice to keep me focused on the task, which would get better. I think I would start to think for myself, because I kind of know it, I should have been able to do it and I couldn't do it without you. With the pedestrian, that's for the parked cars, for the lorry and stuff. I think today I'm just not up to my game how I would have been.
How are you going to be next lesson?
I should be fine. I'll go to my positive books, read them, fill my head with positive thoughts. I will be alright.
It's all within, remember.
And
you don't need to reach out too far to anywhere. That inner strength is already there. You just need to...
The pedestrian as well, Matt. This is why I hate coming out, and I know hate is a strong word. I really do not like turning into that road. It's almost always something.
Right, but is it a reality of driving?
Well,
turning into roads, right?
Especially if you live
now,
here.
you've had chance to categorise this one and build up a bit of a case study on this particular corner, because you do it every day probably as a passenger, or you know, so many times a week,
And
or
watch
whichever.
people, yeah.
And you watch and you see that other people are doing it badly, too fast, wrong side, etc., etc. And I think that doesn't help. Because you did it perfectly last week. The thing was this week,
the pedestrian.
the
My favourite
pedestrian.
thing.
He was on the phone. We knew that. I assume you saw that because you were like,
did.
"Is he going to look?" So I assumed that. But that didn't compute to you. Okay, there's the problem. But you were like, "There's the problem. There's the
And
problem.
that's it.
There's the problem. There's the problem."
Exactly
Not.
that.
Okay, that's fine. What can we do about it?
No harsh braking, first gear.
Yes.
Just touch the brake, first gear, and I was
Yeah.
ready. I stopped. Actually, you said first gear, not stop, and I
Yes,
stopped.
and that, I don't think there's any cameras that would have picked that up. But the two cars behind,
I've
they had to
seen them.
really, and that brought so much danger. He wouldn't have got run over. He'd have, you know, even if he'd have stepped across the road, he'd have had a look. He's likely to have had a look for. He's not completely defenceless, is he? He doesn't want to die. I'm sure he looked healthy. He looked tanned. He looked like he'd been out for a run or something or whatever. He's, you know, it's not all on you.
No,
But if you overreact, you're going to cause something worse.
I did see the cars, and I think I got really worked up. I actually looked. You would see on the video. I looked at them, and I thought, oh no, I knew it's not right. I didn't intend to stop. I think I panicked looking at him, and I just
yeah, okay.
didn't lift my foot off the. I know I stopped. I think probably wanting to, but not wanting to. If it makes sense. I think I feel safer to stop and look again. I need to be braver with that. Plan ahead what we're trying to do. This is why.
So what I want to do when we meet up next time, I want us to have a chat about this lesson, and I want you to write down the main points, and I want us to really start to explore those. Oh, the foot cap just as well.
Yeah.
I want us to really start to explore those areas, and I don't mind being the voice in your head for as long as it takes for it to start to become your voice, and for a lot of instances it is. But what I'll become is like the voice that doesn't linger too much, and it's to the next thing, and to the next thing, and to the next thing, and it doesn't wallow too much on any one thing. It's very forward thinking and very forward going.
Yeah, I don't have the forward thinking. I think I need to work a tiny bit on that before I'm. This is not so bad main road, but you see how many things can go wrong. I still feel bad for these two cars because I saw them, and I thought I bet they didn't think stopping. Why would you stop?
You wouldn't
in the
expect
middle?
it. A good driver behind would have anticipated the fact that the pedestrian could step off, we was about to turn, and we might... Look, if that pedestrian steps off and he does cross, we didn't know at that point, if he does, we are going to have to stop.
I think
Because we were close to the turn,
yeah, but
and we'd have ran him
control the
over.
car.
But
Like,
would he have...
like you say,
might not
cover
have.
the brake.
Yeah.
Don't stop,
Yeah.
because that's more hard for the people behind. Keep going slowly and
Right, look,
build to a stop.
I agree. If we think about today, that theme has been throughout the whole lesson. Same with the van. So thinking about being
Enter,
proactive about what can I do, think it's more about the issue itself. So, yeah.
So you could see why I ended up in trouble waiting
Yeah.
for 2 cars.
I do. I can see it. And it took to be there and to go through it with you to really understand it.
Because I'm not,
But-
when I'm in a good form, I think it's the energy you send is what you receive. When I'm in a good
I
form, we
agree.
have lovely lessons. We
Mm.
don't have bad drivers around us. Everything goes right. And when I'm not, you're very late. So I would save it for next lesson.
I want you to write down the main points, and we'll have a discussion at the beginning of next lesson, and from that discussion we'll formulate a plan that they're definitely your learning needs, and it's majoritively dealing, I think, tell me, or you can tell me next time, because we'll
you're
bring
always right,
bring
so
this
I'm
to a
sure.
close. I'm not always right.
No, it's always right so far.
To
Sorry.
get to deal with other drivers and other incidents that's going on, other
Think about
developing
everything.
hazards
Yeah.
around us, yeah, and we've got to get in and amongst it, but not too much. And we've got to analyse and deal with things quite quickly. Like on that main road, things were happening and happening, and I couldn't quite keep up with the words. And when it comes to the pedestrian, I was like a bit behind, you know. So
Yes.
it'll just take some time, but
Sorry, I just find it hilarious.
as long
I was
as
a
we
bit
know what we're
behind.
doing.
It was this happened, and then you go into a pedestrian. Stop, Lily, stop! I can't catch up.
That's the one thing I didn't say. Stop. All right, Lily. Thank
Right,
you. Thank
yes.
you for being a good sport, Lily.
I actually
There's a lot
had-
of love out there for you. Thank you. It's
That's
helping a
fine.
lot of people. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I had pedestrian with my previous instructor. I have no excuses not to know not to stop like that. I don't know. I think I just lost control in my own head. I just wanted to stop and look, spectating, like you say, which is not a good thing.
I think we all lose control sometimes. And on that note, thank you for watching today's
Oh, yeah.
video. I'm Matt. This is Lily, in case you didn't know already. Don't forget to subscribe to the video, and do like the video if you liked it and you think it's helpful, and share it with a friend. We'll look forward to seeing you again for lesson 9 in the next video. See you later.
Bye. Oh, Matt.